Welcome to the W.A. Pattillo National Alumni Association's third virtual and 41st reunion celebration. This year we are Trojans Resilient and Strong. As we begin this journey of Trojans Sacrifice, Trojans Pride, and Trojans Promise, please note that so many Trojans are noteworthy and so much can be said about each person we highlight this year. However, we will not be able to read all that you see, so please remember to pause and read at your leisure. Join us now for our alma mater, Pattillo High, followed by Day 2, Trojans Pride.
Pattillo High, Pattillo High, to your ideas we will aspire. Maroon and gold, our emblem bold, beckons us on as knights of old. Thy noble sons, thy daughters fair, will stand us high with bugles blare. Long as thy God is God above, we'll sing thy praise and show thee love.
Greetings, alumni and friends. This is day 2 of our 2022 virtual reunion. Yesterday, I urged each of you to look back into your years at W.A. Pattillo School for something that stands out in your mind and that propelled you into life and help to make you the person that you are today. Yes, a lesson of life that was cemented into your being. Today, to my third grade teacher, Mrs. Lawrence, or as Mrs. Gahn, as she was also called. Mrs. Gahn used to wear dresses that looked like my granddaddy's potato sacks. The straight sacks that he put his sweet potatoes and white potatoes in. So one day when Miss Gahn was standing over my desk and helping me with some work, I asked, Miss Gahn, why do you wear those dresses that look like my granddaddy's potato sacks? With those big, beautiful grayish eyes, she looked down at me and said, son, if you got it, flaunt it. At that point, of course, I didn't know what she meant. As time went on, and at about 8th grade, I surmised that from that exchange, don't be afraid to strut your stuff. That message was solidified for me by the speaker of my high school graduation in 1962, Mrs. Clara V. Evans, a professor from then A&T College. She said, everybody has a candle to be lit. Find your candle and light it for the whole world to see. She became my mentor at A&T, my friend in life, and it was my privilege to be the principal speaker at her memorial service in West Virginia in 2006. So again, look back and reflect. Is there something that grabs you, that you know propelled you and supported you in life, in the life that you live today? Thank you, and again, enjoy.
Hello, alumni family and friends. What a joy it is to speak with you today and to join you in this wonderful celebration. I am here to express our profound gratitude and to thank you for your commitment and continued support of our beloved alma mater. Yes, faith without works is dead. You have entrusted in us the gatekeepers of your finances, and your contributions have been significant. Since the inception of this administration in 2012, we have generated over $300,000 in revenue. This year alone, we have raised over $10,000 toward our general fund, the same toward our scholarship and established endowments. Membership has increased tremendously, and your support of our fundraisers over the past 3 years has been phenomenal. Over the years, we have featured our distinguished graduates. We have recognized our centenarians and trailblazers. We have paid tribute to our veterans. We have honored our teachers and our mentors, memorialized our fallen, and celebrated you. We have brought you such fine programming as the lecture recital, My Soul is a Witness, Spirit and Spirituality in Songs of America's Enslaved. We brought you the presentation, Amazing People with Pattillo Roots, and our much anticipated stellar reunions from year to year. We want to thank you, Pattillo, also for the privilege of serving you. That's something we don't take lightly. Attached to this annual report is a fair representation of our fiscal analysis for year in 2022. We want to ensure that there is an element of transparency in the performance of our duties. So steeped in the rich tradition of raising the bar in our quest to preserve the rich legacy of Pattillo, I thank you again, and I encourage you to continue on this journey with us. Be blessed, and I leave with you. In unity, there is strength. Please enjoy the rest of the presentation.
Distinguished Graduate. Chief Warrant Officer 4, retired, Willie Clayton Giles, United States Navy. Son of the late Willie Theodore Giles and Gladys Giles Williams, was born and reared in Tarboro, North Carolina. He attended W.A. Pattillo High School, graduating in 1965. After graduation from high school, Willie enrolled in Fayetteville University, Fayetteville, North Carolina, for just a short time. Upon leaving Fayetteville State, Willie returned to Tarboro and became gainfully employed. He managed and operated the transit system under the auspices of the United Manor Courts, worked as a security guard at Carolina Telephone Company's tower and its Rocky Mount building, and was a licensed insurance agent with Winston Mutual Insurance Agency. His tours of duty as an officer included Navy Supply Corps School, Athens, Virginia, USS Nassau, Norfolk, Virginia, Naval Air Station Supply Department, Norfolk, Virginia, and the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower CVN-69. In January 1991, he reported to the Board of Inspections and Survey as a supply inspector. Chief Warrant Officer Giles received several awards and decorations: the Navy Commendation Medal, Navy Achievement Medal, 4 Meritorious Unit Commendation Awards, Battle E, 3 Good Conduct Medals, 2 National Defense Service Medals, Vietnam Service Medal, Southwest Asia Service Medal, 4 Sea Service Awards, and 4 Vietnam Campaign Medals. Willie enrolled in and graduated from City University, Los Angeles, California during his career in the Navy. At a young age, Willie joined St. Stephen Missionary Baptist Church, Tarboro, North Carolina. After Virginia Beach, Virginia became his permanent residence, he became a member of the St. Mark RZUA Church of Norfolk, Virginia, where he served as chairman of the Children's Church. He was also a member of the Keystone Lodge No. 22, ancient free accepted Scottish Rites Masons of Newport News, Virginia, and also served as the president of the former Tidewater chapter of the W.A. Pattillo High School Alumni Association. Willie was married to Joanna White of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and is the father of Richie L. and Willie C. Jr. Willie passed September 24, 1994. Unsung Heroes. Dr. Florence Arnold Armstrong. Dr. Armstrong is a member of the class of 1963. Following graduation, she received a Bachelor of Arts in Music Education from St. Augustine's University in 1967. She furthered her formal education by earning a master's degree from North Carolina Central University and culminated her studies with the Doctorate of Education from Nova Southeastern University. Following graduation from St. Augustine's University, her career began as a teacher of music in Nash County. Since that time, she has held positions of assistant principal, director of federal programs, and director of instructional services in several North Carolina public schools and Amelia, Virginia. Her strong dedication to public service began at an early age when she joined the Tarboro chapter of the NAACP Youth Council as a youth worker under the leadership of Sarah Beatrice, Miss B. Garrett Burnett. In addition to becoming a life member of the NAACP, she has held offices and worked with the Democratic Party at the county, state, and national levels. Dr. Armstrong has also served on the Edgecombe County Board of Commissioners, Edgecombe Board of Education, the Edgecombe County Arts Council and Edgecombe Health Board. The Edgecombe County African American Democratic Caucus was organized by Dr. Armstrong. Many say that she walks in the footsteps of her great-grandfather, Frank Thorpe, a Reconstruction-era politician in Edgecombe County. Her memberships include being a lifetime member of St. Paul Baptist Church, chair of the Edgecombe County Board of Elections, first vice chair of the North Carolina Elections Board of Elections board members, and was vice chair of the Perry Weston Educational and Cultural Institute and the Rocky Mount Alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. She is currently the Edgecombe County Board of Elections chair and member of the North Carolina State Board of Elections and chaplain of the newly organized Tarboro Community Development Corporation. Linda Williams Knight, Economic Development and Entrepreneurship. Linda Williams Knight grew up in Tarboro, North Carolina, and is married to Frank Knight. She learned entrepreneurship at an early age from her mother, who operated Dell's store in East Tarboro. She completed 11 years of her education at W.A. Pattillo and graduated from Pattillo High School in 1972. Linda Knight is currently the owner and operator of Think and Grow Childcare in Tarboro, a 5-star daycare with 34 employees serving 160 children. Linda Knight is also a property manager who buys and sells real estate in collaboration with her family. She is one of the original founders and board member of the Community Enrichment Organization and Edgecombe County Entrepreneurs Organization. Linda Knight is also on the boards of North Carolina Community College Foundation, Tarboro Development Corporation, the Dream Social and Civic Club, and Michael's Angels. She was appointed to the North Carolina Child Care Board of Commissioners. In addition, Linda Knight served for 9 years on the Down East Partnership for Children Board of Directors. Linda Knight is an outstanding volunteer and initiated flood recovery efforts during Hurricanes Floyd and Katrina. She has received several awards, such as the Guiding Light Service Award from Dream, twice recipient of the Entrepreneur of the Year Award from Edgecombe County Entrepreneurs Organization, and was recipient of the Super Citizen Award from Community Enrichment Organization. Bessie Lewis. Bessie Lewis is a graduate of the W.A. Pattillo High School class of 1966. She is a resident of Tarboro, and she has a long-standing membership in the W.A. Pattillo High School National Alumni Association. While Bessie chooses not to hold a formal position in the governance, administrative, or programmatic structure of the association, she lends her time and her talents to the association in an unbridled fashion, responding to requests and needs with dispatch. Specifically, Bessie has assisted the association in its administrative endeavors by assisting the Assistant Secretary and the Financial Secretary with the receipt and distribution of correspondence that come to the association mailbox. She does this willingly and without compunction, and in an outstanding and exemplary manner that solidified this particular function. She also assisted administratively in the fiscal area, assisting the treasurer and assistant treasurer with the receipt and deposit of funds into the financial institution. This too she did without compunctions, willingly and in a manner that allowed the association to maintain this fiscal function. She too involved herself in the programmatic area, scholarship committee, and benevolence committee functions at a minimum, with activities that needed a helping hand or input from a local member. With dignity and resolve, she gravitated to these needs. Bessie Lewis's deportments reflect great credit upon herself, the legacy of the W.A. Pattillo High School, and its National Alumni Association. She is surely an unsung hero, a shero of note, and forever and a day a true Trojan. Doris Stith. Trojans Pride unsung hero Doris Stith has to be one of the proudest graduates of the former W.A. Pattillo High School. She forever recalls her education at her alma mater and how her first grade teacher helped her to love school and her second grade teacher taught her the value of an education. Doris attended W.A. Pattillo for all 12 years of school, and her class was the very last all-black class to graduate from Pattillo in 1970, so they call themselves the last class. Doris went on to further her education at UNC Chapel Hill, where she graduated in 1974 with a degree in journalism. While at UNC, Doris was quite active in such groups like Black Student Movement. She was named Miss Black Student Movement her sophomore year and also served as managing editor of Black Ink, BSM's newspaper. Please pause here and take a moment to take in all of the accomplishments and service of this true unsung hero. Honoring those 80 years and older who attended W.A. Pattillo High School. Let the elders who rule well be considered worthy of double honor. 1 Timothy 5:17 through 19. Lawrence Auld. Anna Barnes. Janie Battle. Louis Belcher. Maxine Best. Dolores Bradley. Carrie Bridgers. James Bridgers. Varnell Bridgers. Rosa A. Brody. Johnny Bryant. Maggie Williams Boyd. Margaret Bullock Powell. Margie Cofield. Annie Collins. Myrna Deloach. Cora Davis Dickens. Ross Diggs, Maderla Dowd, Mary Drawn, Patricia Foreman, Milton Harrell, Lorna Dale Pitt Lloyd, Shirley Odell Mays, Margarella Bridgers Moore, Dolores Murphy, Delia Perkins, Rayfield Perkins, Catherine Perry, Lovey Rooks, Evelyn Reeves, Anne Roundtree, Robert Smith, Mary White, Ida Williams, Julia May Vines, We hope you enjoyed watching those amazing pictures of the parents and guardians who made a difference in the lives of the students who walked the halls of Pattillo. We would now like to thank and honor those Trojans who are currently working and have worked diligently in the past to keep the W.A. Pattillo legacy alive. Katharina Joyce Watson said, "You can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead where you won't go." And John Maxwell stated, "Why you lead and the way you lead are important. They define you, your leadership, and ultimately your contribution." And now, our leadership team. Ann C. Adams, class of 1969, Chairwoman, Archives Committee. Dr. Florence Arnold Armstrong, class of 1963. Dr. Armstrong resides in Tarboro, North Carolina. She received a Bachelor of Arts in Music Education from St. Augustine's University in 1967. She furthered her formal education by earning a master's degree from North Carolina Central University and culminated her studies with the Doctorate of Education from Nova Southeastern University. She serves on several public service organizations and projects. She is a life member of the NAACP and has held offices and worked with the Democratic Party at the county, state, and national levels. She is currently the Edgecombe County Board of Elections Chair and member of the North Carolina State Board of Elections. She is the chaplain and a member of the Board of Directors of the Tarboro Community Development Corporation. She currently serves as the chairwoman for the Archives Committee. She is currently retired. Dr. Veronica J. Bradley, class of 1967. Veronica Jean Bradley was the first of 4 children born to Dolores Pippin Bradley and the late James H. Bradley Sr. She graduated from W.A. Pattillo High School with a full academic scholarship and an award for writing from North Carolina's largest circulated newspaper, the News and Observer. Being editor-in-chief of the newspaper was her favorite extracurricular activity in high school. After leaving Pattillo, Veronica matriculated and earned a bachelor's and master's of art and a doctor of philosophy degrees. She is a retiree and a resident of Hampton, Virginia, which is the home of her undergraduate alma mater, Hampton Institute, now Hampton University. At her church, Veronica is a teller, the church administrator, the chairperson of the Pastor's Anniversary Committee, and an intercessory prayer team member. Among her most memorable professional organizational memberships are the American Association for University Women, Pi Lambda Theta Honor Society, Kappa Delta Pi International Honor Society, Phi Delta Kappa Fraternity in Education, and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. During her tenure in the Alumni Association, she has served as the vice chair of the 36th Annual Reunion Committee in 2017, the chairperson of the Publications Committee, and a member of the Program Committee. Dr. Bradley currently provides services in the association as the finance chairperson and budget officer, a director at large, and a member of the Public Relations Committee. Veronica genuinely enjoys traveling, reading, writing, baking, and event planning. She has a special affinity for being in service of others to facilitate improved conditions. Mrs. Barbara G. Carter, class of 1968. Mrs. Giles resides in Burlington, North Carolina. She played on the girls' basketball team, was a member of the Spanish Club and the Choral Club at Pattillo. She attended and graduated from Barbara Scotia College, Concord, North Carolina, receiving a BA degree in sociology, social work, and a minor in Spanish. She worked as a dental assistant for Dr. Moses A. Ray. She was employed with the Nash Edgecombe Economic Development Incorporated. Her positions included Head Start teacher, employment and training counselor, and community organization specialist. Barbara is a member of the St. Stephen Missionary Baptist Church, Tarboro, North Carolina, where she has served as a Sunday school teacher, superintendent of the Sunday school, financial secretary, clerk, and other offices. Barbara has 1 daughter and 1 granddaughter. She has served as secretary of the W.A. Pattillo High School National Alumni Association, Incorporated, for 3 years. Reverend George T. Cromwell, class of 1961. Reverend Cromwell resides in Garner, North Carolina. He began his ministry at the age of 19 at Eastern Star Baptist Church, Tarboro, North Carolina. He attended Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary in Wake Forest, North Carolina. He holds a Master of Divinity degree from Shaw University School of Divinity in Raleigh, North Carolina. A pastor for 24 years, Reverend Cromwell currently serves as pastor at Barnes Chapel Missionary Baptist Church in Goldsboro, North Carolina. He expresses his love for God, the Christian church, and the children of God in effective teaching and preaching of God's Word. He has served as an adjunct professor at Shaw School of Divinity and taught in North Carolina public schools for 28 years. As a special educator, teaching school was a ministry for him from which he retired. He and his wife Gail are proud parents of 1 son and 2 daughters and grandparents of 6 grandchildren. He enjoys reading and swimming. He currently serves as Director at Large. Mr. Johnny Bryant, class of 1959, Chaplain of the North. Ms. Stellianne B. Curtis, class of 1970, Chairwoman, Hall of Fame Committee. Mrs. Gladys Harrell Dunn, class of 1963, Southeast Regional Director. Mrs. Cynthia Knight Dockery, class of 1973. Mrs. Dockery currently resides in Lanham, Maryland. She was married to the late Wayne Cornelius Dockery Sr. for 39 years. They have 2 sons, 7 grandchildren, and she is eagerly awaiting the birth of their first great-granddaughter. She currently serves as the executive assistant to the senior pastor of Galilee Baptist Church in Suitland, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Upper Marlboro, Maryland. She also serves as the treasurer of the Deaconess Ministry of Galilee and is one of the choir directors in the Music and Fine Arts Ministry. She is co-founder and chairwoman of the board of directors of the Tarboro Community Development Corporation. In high school, she served as co-chair of the yearbook committee, president of the Junior Mental Health Association, and chosen Outstanding Senior and Most Talented Superlative. She was elected for 2 consecutive years to represent her school in the North Carolina National Typing Competition. She is the former chairwoman of the Pattillo Alumni Association's Technology and Publications Committees, respectively, and currently serves as the chairwoman of the Public Relations Committee, merging of the Technology and Publication Committees. She enjoys helping others singing, reading, writing, and swimming. Mrs. Lois C. Hinton, class of 1968. Mrs. Hinton currently resides in Raleigh, North Carolina. Following graduation, she attended Livingston College in Salisbury, North Carolina, where she was a member of the Livingstone Drama Guild. Later, she graduated from Barton College, formerly Atlantic Christian College, Wilson, North Carolina, receiving a BS degree in sociology with a concentration in social welfare services. She is credentialed as a Human Service Board Certified Practitioner by the Center for Credentialing and Education, Incorporated. She is a member of the Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church in Durham, North Carolina, and served in the music, hospitality, and women's ministries. Her services to the community are former member of the Catholic Parish Outreach Advisory Board, a former volunteer for the Catholic Parish Outreach Food Pantry, a precinct judge, served as a group facilitator for the Community Bible Study, and is currently serving on the servants team of Community Bible Study. She is married to her loving husband of 34 years, Carnell Hinton, formerly of Wilson, North Carolina. They are the parents of 2 children and grandparents of 3. She is passionate about the W.A. Pattillo National Alumni Association, which she served as the Tarboro Chapter Secretary-Treasurer under the administration of the late Mr. Charlie Brown, National Secretary and Program Chairperson under the administration of Dr. Fred Wood Jr., former president, and served as co-chairperson of the 37th Annual Reunion 2018. Mrs. Joanne R. Jefferson, class of 1965. Mrs. Jefferson currently resides in Baltimore, Maryland. She was a member of the W.A. Pattillo School Chorus. After graduation, she attended Edgecombe Community College, formerly Edgecombe Technical Institute. She is a member of the Order of Eastern Star Wade Chapter No. 8 in Baltimore, Maryland, a member of the Christian Love Baptist Church, and serves on the Women's Ministry, the Pastor's Aid, the Puppet Ministry, and a former member of the choir. She also served as former secretary and vice president of the Alumni. She currently serves as the chairwoman of the Recruiting Nominating Committee. She is married to Manning Alvin Jefferson Jr. She is currently retired. Mr. Charles Lyons, class of 1969. Mr. Lyons currently resides in Port Arthur, Texas. He attended Princeville Elementary School and entered W.A. Pattillo High School in 1965. After graduation, he joined the U.S. Marine Corps, where he served for 2 years. After his tour of duty, he moved to Washington, D.C., and worked for the federal government. His career was in logistics management. He is currently an independent contractor for Classic Transport, LLC in Elkhart, Indiana. He is a father and grandfather. He currently serves as the chairman of the Logistics Committee and is Sergeant at Arms. Mr. Richard L. Lyons, class of 1968, Northeast Regional Director. Mr. Jack Matheson, class of 1962, Chairman, Bylaws Committee. Mayor Delia W. Perkins, class of 1960. Mayor Perkins resides in Princeville, North Carolina. She is the eldest of 3 children. A former 2-term mayor of the town of Princeville, North Carolina, she has also held membership on the Edgecombe County Health Board, Edgecombe County Schools, Even Start Program, the National Conference of Black Mayors, the North Carolina Conference of Black Mayors, and the Board of Directors of the North Carolina League of Municipalities. She is married to Rayfield Perkins, and together they have 6 children, along with 10 grandchildren. She is a director at large. Mrs. Jeanette Williams Pettaway, class of 1966. Mrs. Pettaway resides in Tarboro and New York. Her Pattillo activities included Modern Dance Group, Athletic Department's Concessio Team, the Library Assistance Club, and a 1966 senior debutante. She graduated from Elizabeth City State University, class of 1970. She served as New York Alumni Chapter Secretary, later elected to Vice President, life member of the National Alumni Association. She is a member of the Abyssinian Baptist Church of Harlem, New York, and she is a member of the Scholarship Ministry, Welcome and Hospitality Ministry, Watch Care Eastern Star Missionary Baptist Church. She is a former member of the National Action Network, NAACP. She and her husband have 2 children and 1 grandchild. She is retired and enjoys traveling, reading, writing, watching tennis, classic movies, the outdoors, and words with friends. She currently serves as the Financial Secretary. Mrs. Minnie Pitt Pierce, class of 1967. Mrs. Pierce currently resides in New York City. She is retired from the New York Board of Education. She enjoys traveling, sports, and movies. She has 2 children and 7 grandchildren. She currently serves as the chairwoman of the Benevolence Committee. Mrs. Carolyn B. Pritchett, class of 1973. Mrs. Pritchett resides in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She attended Cortez Peters Business College in Washington, D.C., and she worked for the Department of Justice in a work-study program. She was interested in becoming a civil rights attorney and met and worked with many of the FBI team members. After the FBI job, she decided to return to Tarboro and became employed as a teacher assistant at Carver Elementary School. She later started working at Black & Decker and returned to school at Edgecombe Community College while working during the day and taking classes at night. She married the late William Pritchett in March of 1987. She serves as a director at large. Mrs. Charlotte S. Privet, class of 1966. Mrs. Privet resides in Tarboro, North Carolina. She is a retired educator, but still enjoys working, assisting, and helping students. She enjoys being in the educational arena of the students and schools of Edgecombe County. She says when one student is able to improve his life educationally, the entire county improves. She is a member of the Mount Pisgah Presbyterian Church in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. She is also a member of the Chancel Choir and Vacation Bible School staff. She is president of the Nash Edgecombe County chapter of Fayetteville State University Alumni Association, benevolent chairperson, and a member of the Nash Edgecombe Retired School Personnel. She is married to Raymond Privet, and they have 1 son and 4 grandchildren. She enjoys music, trying new recipes, being with family, and searching family ancestry. She currently serves as the chairwoman of the Scholarship Committee. Mr. Thomas Reeves, class of 1965, Director at Large. Mr. James Victor Spencer, class of 1963. Mr. Spencer resides in California. He still looks forward to and making it to the reunion celebration every July. He looks forward to connecting with old classmates and schoolmates. He said it's exciting to see how we have all changed and dealt with life's challenges. He appreciates the association's opportunity to give back to the youth by awarding scholarships to help defray some of the expenses of attending college and experiencing the rewards of a college education that is vital in today's society. He said there will never be another Pattillo as we knew it, but we can continue to hold on to the memories that we cherish, memories of how and where we got our starts, and pass some of them on to our children, grandchildren, and friends. He serves as the Northwest-Southwest Regional Director. Mr. Clinton Stevens, class of 1966, Chaplain of the South. Mrs. Ruby W. Williams, class of 1965. Mrs. Williams currently resides in Greensboro, North Carolina. She has 2 daughters. She was a proud Trojan cheerleader for 2 years, participated in the choir, and a member of the yearbook staff. She graduated from A&T State University as a professional biology major. During her junior year, she discovered a career that would satisfy her passion for research, cytotechnology. She was certified a registered cytotechnologist by the School of Cytotechnology in Richmond, Virginia. She is currently retired and serves as the chairwoman of the membership committee. Dr. Fred S. Wood Jr., class of 1962. Dr. Wood resides in Greensboro, North Carolina. He is the second of 3 children, a 1962 honor graduate of the W.A. Pattillo High School, where he was active in athletics and multiple school activities. A Vietnam veteran, Dr. Wood is a retired United States Army officer with the rank of Major and an inductee in the North Carolina A&T State University Army Aggie Battalion Hall of Fame. He is also a retired assistant dean from the School of Education at the North Carolina A&T State University. He is also a member of Kappa Delta Pi, an international honor society in education, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and a member of Providence Baptist Church in Greensboro, where he served as chairman of its trustee board. Dr. Wood believes in the writings of Hebrews 13:16. Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God. He shares all his God-given talents willingly. He is an avid woodworker and architectural draftsman. He has been a resident of Greensboro, North Carolina since 1970. He is married to the former Jeanette Jackson of Greensboro. They have 2 adult daughters and 2 grandsons. From 2011 until 2020, Dr. Wood has served as the elected president of the W.A. Pattillo High School National Alumni Association. In 2020, he was appointed by the board to the position of interim president, where he currently serves. Mr. Othar Woodard, class of 1968, parliamentarian. Former leaders and administration. Mr. Naim Akbar, class of 1965, former vice president. Mrs. Madeline Belcher Allicott, class of 1972, former parliamentarian. Mrs. Myrna Deloach, class of 1956, former Hall of Fame chair. Minister Barbara W. Fester, class of 1971, former chaplain of the North. Mrs. Mary S. Lloyd, class of 1968, former assistant secretary. Mrs. Kathy B. Parker, class of 1968, former Hall of Fame chair. Mrs. Deborah Porter Pettaway, class of 1972, former treasurer. Ms. Fiesta T. Reynolds, class of 1973, former technology chair. Ms. Reynolds currently resides in Raleigh, North Carolina. She has 2 daughters and 3 energetic grandsons. She is happily retired. She enjoys anything involving her grandchildren, working, outdoors, swimming, walking, and photography. She is the former chairperson of the Technology Committee and currently serves on the Public Relations Committee. Mrs. Lovey B. Rooks, class of 1959, former program co-chair. Mrs. Doris Stith, class of 1970, former finance chair. Ms. Linda Worsley, class of 1968, former Southeast director. In memorial of those who died from COVID. In memory of our beloved classmates, the class of 1972. Remembering our beloved classmates of 1973. Honoring and remembering senior class advisors, principals, and deceased classmates, class of 1968. In remembrance of our loving W.A. Pattillo alumni, affectionately submitted by Carrie Williams Armston and Sandra Williams Armstrong. In remembrance of Wayne Cornelius Dockery Sr., you are forever in our hearts and memory. Your wife, Cynthia, children, Randolph and Wayne Jr., grandchildren, siblings, and family members. Never forgotten, Mom and Dad, Fred and Bessie Knight, siblings Mary, Charles, Raymond, James, and Evangeline. Love from Shirley, Minnie, Celeste, Phyllis, Cynthia, and Sandra. A memorial to Richard H. Parker, Raymond H. Parker, and Curtis Black, in lasting memory of my two brothers, graduates of W.A. Pattillo High School. Pattillo High was a part of the village that raised us and prepared us for a journey to become successful in a society that was segregated. Being older, they gave me two examples of the tenacity and consistency that was needed to reach a level of professional maturity. For that, I thank them, Pattillo, East Tarboro, NCCU, and Asbury Park High School. Lovingly submitted by Milton Parker, class of 1961.
Advertisements. Acknowledgements.
Alumni Founders. Mr. Nathan Lewis. Born on September 23, 1934, Nathan Lewis was raised by his grandmother, Mary Eliza Lewis. He loved Tarboro and his football playing days at Pattillo High School passionately. After graduating from Pattillo in 1955, he accepted a full scholarship at Shaw University, where he also played football. His teammates nicknamed him Mule Train because he hit hard, protected the ball, and ran with great speed. Nathan was inducted into the Hall of Fame at Shaw University for his exceptional football skills, determination, and ultimate love of the game. He graduated from Shaw University with a Bachelor of Science degree in education. Later, he got a master's degree in special education from Antioch University. Nathan returned home often to visit and enjoyed sharing stories about growing up with his friends and telling jokes. He was especially proud of his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He expired September 10, 2010. Mr. William Henry Boyd, fondly known as Henny Penny. William H. Boyd was born in 1938. He was raised in an area of Tarboro known as the Depot. It was an African American residential and commercial area, which was the last section of Tarboro to be developed. From 1938 until 1955, his family's residence was located at 1717 Main Street. After his father died in 1955, the family relocated to Princeville. His parents were John Henry Boyd, affectionately known as Pee Wee, and Jessie Perkins Boyd. He has 4 siblings, Roland, Ruth, Elizabeth, and Curtis. William was a graduate of the Pattillo High School class of 1959. He participated in varsity football as a guard and defensive tackle. He was also an avid baseball player. He played as an outfielder and catcher. His athletic career spanned 1954 to 1957. In 1961, William went to work at the Carolina Telephone and Telegraph Company in Tarboro, North Carolina. After 30 years of dedication and commitment to the telephone company, he retired in 1991. He was a resident of Princeville. He passed away on March 2, 2016. Mr. George E. Worsley Sr., the only child born to George Worsley and Karen Pettaway. George Edward Worsley Sr. was born in Tarboro, North Carolina on July 14, 1922. George was a 1940 graduate of the W.A. Pattillo High School. He joined the U.S. Marines on May 26, 1943. He served his country in World War II, and he was honorably discharged on December 29, 1945. He furthered his education at Howard University, where he received a BA degree in liberal arts in 1952. George became a dedicated member of Mount Carmel Baptist Church, Washington, D.C. in 1952. He served as a deacon, a board member, chairman of the Budget Committee, and a senior usher. He was a Mason and a member of Mecca Temple No. 10 for over 10 years and a member of St. John Chapter No. 7. And he served as Worshipful Master of Victory Lodge No. 23. George loved Pattillo High School, Tarboro, his family, and friends. He died April 4, 1997 in Washington, D.C. Mr. Rayfield Perkins. Rayfield Perkins is a native of Princeville, North Carolina. He is son of the late Maggie Perkins and Leslie Eason. He is the youngest of 8 children. He is the only surviving sibling. He is a graduate of the W.A. Pattillo High School class of 1955. He played on the Trojan football team and was also a member of the band. After graduation, Rayfield worked at the Davenport Oil Company for 3 years and then for Carolina Telephone Company as a driver. He retired from Carolina Telephone Company in 1995 with 35 years of service. He received several safe driving awards while at Carolina Telephone Company. Rayfield is a very active and faithful member of the St. Luke Church of Christ in Princeville, North Carolina. As an ordained deacon, he has served as an elder of the church for 10 years. Rayfield enjoys working in his yard and especially joining his church members for a morning breakfast at St. Luke Church. He is married to the former Delia J. Wood of Tarboro. They have celebrated 52 years of matrimony. Let me say that again. They have celebrated 52 years of matrimony. 5 of their 6 children survived the 2013 passing of the eldest child, James E. Wood. They are Sylvia Davenport, Anthony Perkins, Kermit Perkins, Jeffrey Perkins, and Ruby Perkins. Their children have blessed them with 8 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. Now, let's meet the 2022 Virtual Committee. Cynthia Knight Dockery, Chair. Fiesta Taylor Reynolds. Lois Cobb Hinton. Barbara Giles Carter. Jack Matheson. Joanne Jefferson. Ann Adams. And special thanks to Jasmine Lugg, Deacon Odell Jackson. Hey, that's me. Stacia Wood.
We hope you have enjoyed Day 2, Trojans Resilient and Strong, Trojans Pride. Join us tomorrow for Day 3 and our finale, Trojans Resilient and Strong, Trojans Promise.